Peaches. It's a peach. It's a peach. Peachy girl. Hey, Peach. Hey, Peach. That noise you hear is Cecil. Let's see. Yeah. He's strobing the bar with that half of an almond shell. Yeah, I hear you, Peach. Now if I can... I also hear it. I also heard an echo. Peaches! Cecil, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Cecil? It's just like Cecil to be playing the shell game, right, Cecil? That was a pretty song, but what was the yelling for, Peach? Thank you, Falcon Sue. Yeah, did that complete video on my phone because the computer, it's been going for 7 years on a hard drive, a SSD. It's not a standard hard drive, but, I beat the heck out of it doing video. And it's not like the new computers that have the built-in encoders. It takes it about 2 hours to do a 20-minute video, so... Yeah, the Poe and the Shirley Jackson references, right? I still like that original, The Haunting. I like the book better than the movie, but I like the black and white one. They messed up the... They tried to redo it and totally blew it, but... That's kind of what it felt like living there. What'd you say, Peach? What'd you say? Yeah, you know there's people out there. You know that. You know it, don't you? Yep. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I've read extensively, so... Oh, it was impossible to live there, Cheryl. It was impossible to live there. I mean, the stench was horrible. When it started, when I walked outside, I smelled this sewage smell. Of course, they deny it had anything to do with sewage, but... And then I called up and complained, and she sent a plumber down who tore the wall open, and so it was open to the outside. I've got pictures of all this. She had it open all the way to the outside, and she left it that way. It's still that way today, as far as I know. And so I immediately called my friends and said, hey, we've done this before. I've come up here, but I think we need to do it permanently now. So thus began our trek. I think the worst... I know, Peach. And because I moved into a smaller place, we had to figure out how to bring the birds here. So I know, Peaches. I know, baby. You can't see anyone, baby. You can't. She's like, I'm going to see them. I'm going to do it. How are you going to see them, sweetheart? They're not there. So the best way to do that was to, this cages obviously in the van are small. I mean, it's an emergency transport van, so I figured if we got all the cages up here and got them set up like this, right? Got them set up where they could all come in and get into certainly larger cages than those cages. Whoops, I'm going to fall over here. Those cages that were in the van, so they're moving from their bigger cages into these tiny cages and then into somewhat larger cages that would be psychologically good for them, and it seems to have worked. They all seem to be doing okay. But obviously the cages are smaller. The TV is going to go right up there, and then there's going to be a mirror across over here so that all the birds can watch Apple TV. So, yeah, Peaches wants to see us, don't you, Peach? But there's nothing to see, sweetheart. Peach, I'm sorry, but there really isn't anything to see. I don't think that woman has any shame, to be honest with you. I don't know. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say when she said that to me. She actually said that I had destroyed her home, and I don't know how you do that by calling up and saying you have a leak problem. This wasn't the first time I complained about the leak. She had a plumber come in who didn't do a good job, and then she had another plumber, not a plumber, but a friend of hers come in who put what's called a drain jet. I used to work in the plumbing industry. I used to sell them. So he put it down the line. Well, the problem is he took city water pressure at about 125 pounds and put it down a drain line, which is supposed to be gravity fed. So, Peaches, you can't see anyone. Peaches. I can get you out, but you won't see anything. You won't. There's nothing to see. I know you want to talk to your friends, but you can't do it. Come here. Step up. You can't see your friends. You can look at the screen, but you cannot see anything. All you're going to see is our room in here. That's it. Well, yeah, that's the way these people are. They sit, as my former my first wife's brother once said. They just sit back on the bed and watch it spread while they draw in the money. He was talking about his mother, but she wasn't gonna. That's nice, Cecil. What are you gonna do? Play with the door? Go ahead. You big silly. Yeah, I don't get it, but that's the way it works with these people. They don't do anything. They just draw money and from people, and I don't know if it was in better condition. And when I moved in there, the carpet hadn't been changed. The carpet was a mess. It was bad when I got there. That was 12 years ago. But I told the owner at the time, who died, I told Vern that, I don't want the carpet changed because the birds are gonna, they're gonna poop on it here and there, and I don't want to be responsible. So, carpet hasn't been changed in 12 years. About every 3 months, I used a carpet cleaner, a real one, a professional one, to clean the thing. Bought the darn thing because otherwise I would have had to buy it 10 times over. So, so I did the carpet cleaning pretty regularly, but the carpet looks horrible now. It needs to be replaced. So I didn't go any farther than vacuuming up the seeds and the other stuff that was on the floor. That's patching the holes in the walls. I didn't do anything more than that. So, and then there were all those paving stones there too, and I had to get rid of those. So I ended up giving them away to the neighbors, and a nice guy who worked for Hughes Aircraft, and he's retired. He came and took all the paving stones, and then everything heavy. But basically about 80% of our stuff we had to dump. The rest of it's in storage. All their bigger cages are in storage, and the important stuff. But there's only so much. You can't pay for a huge storage. So had a company come in and fill up basically a big dump truck twice. That was expensive. I conned them. I didn't con them, but I asked them if they would politely. I explained the situation. I said, can you help us by bagging stuff? And instead of just taking boxes out, bagging stuff. And they did. So, but there was a lot of stuff that we just had to get rid of. There's a little bit of stuff still left there, like gas cans with gas in them. I got no place to take those. But oh, a co-op. That must be nice, Cheryl Kincaid. I totally believe in co-ops. I heard recently that Vietnam has over 23,000 co-ops. That's the way to run things. People should run their own businesses and get the profit from them, you know. Yeah, let's see what else needs to be repaired at that place. There were some spots where the birds ate the molding. You know, molding's like $1 a foot or something, maybe more now that wood's in shortage, but it's not expensive. And you know, there's still some small holes. The big holes are patched, but small holes in the wall, you know, where the TVs were hooked up. So, right, Mander? Salamander bird? Yeah, but you know, I mean, I have all the records on this stuff, but the courts aren't really in favor of people without property, and we don't own any property, so it's the property people that get the court's attention. But we'll see. You know, if she tries to really stick it to us, then I will go to court, and I have everything I need lined up. So, and of course, I have said nothing to her, so she has no idea what I have. Something I learned a long time ago: never tell your secret legal theory to the person you might be in court with. So, don't give them any ammo. Yeah, there's Mr. Skywalker. That's Snowball. He's walking on the sky again, aren't you? Yeah, I don't think she watches any streams. My guess is she wants that house for her son, and I've seen him, and I've seen the type, so she probably wants to get him out of her house. I loved her husband. He was a really nice guy, and the original owner, Vern, he was a sweet human being. You know, when he started to get dementia, it got a little weird. Like at one point he says, well, if you need to get air through the house, just open the windows. And I kind of laughed. I said, when it's 40 degrees outside? You know, because you had a choice between, in the winter, it would get cold at night, maybe down to 40, but it would still get warm in the day. And then, of course, in the summer, it could get up to 115. Here, it's pretty much, you know, 90s. They call that normal where I am, so. Right, Peach? Well, let's put the Peach on the thing. Hi, Peaches. She's happy. She's getting petted, but you really want to see people, don't you, Peach? Don't you, Peach? Silly girl. You silly girl. Yeah, there was so much that we had to lose. Just watching these people bag stuff and take furniture and stuff and throw it on a dump truck. Yeah, it really was kind of like that part in the video where you saw the dump truck dumping a bunch of construction stuff. But thanks, Amy Lulu. Appreciate it for the super chat there. Yeah, it was crazy. We got out of there pretty darn fast. It was within 2 days of this happening. I couldn't do it the same day, obviously, but within 2 days of that horrible stench coming up, we were able to get out of there and get the birds out, and then went back for 2 weekends, and then had that company come in and help me get rid of a bunch of stuff, because there's just no way 12 years worth of buildup was going to get out of there with just me and a few friends doing it. So, and they were there for 8 hours just bagging and throwing stuff into the dumpster. Fortunately, the stepping stones, which were the base for the aviary, they they got taken by a nice couple, and older couple, both retired from Hughes Aircraft, but they came and took that, and then somebody came and took the weight equipment, and so. Yes, Sugar's playing back there in the back of the cage. Yeah, it kind of reminded me when you talk about it being stuff, Goth 42. When back in 2010, the reason we were at that place in Fallbrook was because we had a fire. The mice chewed through the walls, into the wires in the walls, and I got all the birds out. They didn't even get any smoke inhalation. I smelled a little smoke, and I called 911, and I grabbed as I'm grabbing birds, I got all the birds out, and I'm taking the last bird out, and the wall just lit up in flames. And then, so I'm standing down there looking at this place burning where the fire department got there in 3 minutes. And the fire marshal walks up to me, and he says, So, did you have anything of value in there? And he starts talking to me, and I finally got the idea. He thought maybe I set the fire, and I looked at him and I said, I don't have any insurance. I do now, but I didn't at the time, and I didn't have any fire insurance. And but the important things to me were the birds, and they were in the car behind me, so what was inside didn't matter. But that was how I was approaching it. My friends are like, you want to take that, you want to take this, and they were right. I mean, I took some of the things they told me to take, but... Right, Peach? Hi, Susie Q. So they, and they were right. There were some things I needed to take, and like I've got the generator in case we have a problem here. We have solar. It's not likely we're going to need it, but we do have the generator, both generators. The solar panels for the generator and that kind of thing. But the most important thing was getting them out and doing it without damaging their lives too much. And by putting them in the small cages and then coming into a place that was already set up, all these cages were set up for them. It helped a lot. The only one, this guy here, had a smaller cage, and we've got him into a larger one because he was not happy. He's not a guy that moves around a lot because of his twisted pelvis, but he still didn't like the cage. So now he can flap his wings if he wants to. He's got enough room for that. That's the most important thing. The one with the smallest cage, and I want to do something about that, is Lucy. She seems perfectly happy in that smaller cage. Again, she's the one that likes to play on the ground with her toys and stuff. Well, sure, you can send stuff. Email me at fatherdon@chloesanctuary.org, and I will tell you where you can send it. Obviously, we're trying to keep our actual location quiet. We don't want people coming by, but just email me and I'll give you that information. Right, big guy? Peaches. Yeah, Lucy and the popcorn. Boy, she really is a popcorn girl. Look at that look. Popcorn? Popcorn? Yes, I'll get you some popcorn later, okay? Oh, I believe you, Michelle. Yeah. We have an address that we can, you can send things to, and then they'll forward things to us too, but we don't want to use that too much because after a while they start charging you. Whitewood from Home Depot has been good for us, but now I'm just buying it from my wholesale supplier because I can't really be running power machines around here. It's a little too noisy. The birds are noisy enough. Oh, look at the popcorn. Got popcorn for the Lucy. She says, I don't see it. Where's my popcorn? Lucy, I'll make you popcorn. See, Amy wants you to get popcorn. The first time I made popcorn, she could see what I was doing, and she ran over to the cage, and she's just sitting there staring at me. So I showed her a piece of popcorn, and she started bouncing her head. I was like, okay, this is a popcorn girl. And Sugar, of course, likes French fries. You have to get her unsalted real potato French fries. Those are okay for her, but not that often, of course, but once in a while. Right, Peach? Well, it would have to be outside, if we were using the miter saw. So that would mean that I would be outside for an hour cutting wood. And the drilling doesn't make much noise, but the cutting of wood is pretty loud. So we've got enough noise with, I shouldn't call it noise. We have enough voices here that the neighborhood doesn't need me making more noise. So, yeah, actually the drill press and all that stuff the drill press went to the nice guy from Hughes Aircraft. He was loading the stepping stones, and I go, you need a drill press? And he goes, that's yours. I said, well, it's yours if you want it. So he took the drill press. And a stand and everything, so. We still have the miter saw, that's in storage, but I'm probably not going to use it. I just spent $300 on wood from our supplier, so. It's not like they won't chew it up. And it's, for wood that's already drilled and cut, and it's white wood, so it's good wood. That's reasonably priced. It's enough wood to last about 3 months. Yeah, $100 a month for wood, that's not too bad. And they like the coloration. They like the colored wood. They were pretty much on just white wood for a while, and it didn't seem to bother them, but they seem to be picking their colors, so. Lorelei, yeah, she's been a pip lately, and not a pippa, just a pip. Trying to get her to go outside. The problem with her is that she's real squirmy, and when she's being like that, I can't take her out. Because if she gets away from me, that's it for her, so. She's a nervous little girl, aren't you, Lorelei? Now you want attention. Now you want it. She likes going out later in the day, and we can't do that, so. Right now, let me see. Let me look. Video's going to go nuts for a second. It's only 102 outside, so about 39.5 Celsius. Yeah. You tell him, Lorelei. You tell him. You tell him, Lorelei. Big show off. You are such a cute girl. But a fraidy cat, too. Gotta walk through areas she doesn't know, and she gets nervous when she goes through the dining room area to get outside. Yeah, actually, the cut and drilled wood is costing about as much. If you go to Home Depot right now and buy wood, it's costing about the same, really. It's probably because what they have in stock is from older cuts, but still, it's okay. They got to have their wood. They'll go crazy without it. I got to make toys today, too, because Cecil has destroyed his. And as you can see, that one, I need two in his cage, and he's only got one, and he's done with it, really. He's taken everything off of it except a couple of pieces of wood and a couple of pieces of plastic. That's for this big guy. So what I have to do is all that stuff is outside. I have to go get what I need, drag it inside, make the toys, because I still have to clean the aviary from when they were out earlier. It's going to be 104 while I'm out there cleaning the aviary. Hi, Kira. Brospicky. Paint. I use food dye. Um, food coloring. Also, cake coloring stuff is good. You have to do a little. You have to do a little magic with that stuff, though, and you want to put that stuff on using alcohol. You want to use like 70% alcohol or 90%. 90% is better. That way, when the alcohol is gone, you know it's killed everything in there. Any kind of mold or anything in the wood is gone. So. Yeah, the cake coloring gel works really well. Some of the food dyes, if you get them wet on the ground wherever they are, they can permanently dye your carpet and stuff. The stuff I get from our supplier, I've tested it. It doesn't. It doesn't come off like that. But I've got some sticks. I got just little craft sticks that are colored. I can't put them outside because if they get wet, they will actually stain the concrete. I've had to spend some time using a carpet brush to get that out. So I think the cake dye is the best, the cake gel. Tried a lot of things. There used to be a company that made something specific for birds, but they stopped doing it. So Peaches has still got her original cage. She loves that cage. I had to build it in here. I had to take it apart because it won't go through the door. So, and it was the same with Cecil's, but Cecil's cage is an old California cage, and it's got these buttons that you press, and then you lift the top off, and then the sides come off with buttons. Boy, they really designed those cages. It's so irritating that companies buy up a company like that and then stop making the cages. You know, they bought the manufacturing facility and then stopped making cages. And then they didn't sell the plans to anybody else to do it. Just best cages in the world, and you can't even duplicate them legally. What are you doing in there? How come you got your feathers all spread out? Cos, what are you doing? Cosmo, what are you doing? Looking for attention? Hi, baby. She's been seeing pictures, videos of her sister lately, and she just loves seeing Simone. Remember Simone? Cos, do you remember Simone? First time I said that name, her head jerked around so fast, it was like I was shot her with a bullet or something. She just like, Simone, I remember Simone. And I showed her a video, and she watched the whole thing and started shaking her head. You know Simone, don't you? Yes, you do. Bob, you hiding back there? Yeah, they were left in a hallway between a garage and a kitchen for 12 years by themselves. They were picking on themselves. That was part of the problem with having Simone here, is that she would rip out Cos's feathers. And the other one is she would chase Salamander around. Little bird chasing big bird. If I'd had the training from, I had training, obviously, in ABA, but if I'd had the training from ABA 101 online, Animal Training 101, Jennifer Alex, I wouldn't have had to rehome her, but at least I know she's safe, and I get to get pictures and updates on her medical all the time. What are you doing, Snowball? Cos? Peaches, what are you doing on my lap? Yeah, the cage that Cecil was in was Chloe's cage. And she chose that cage over everything else. That was back before I really knew what I was doing, so I took her when they were going to get rid of her, and I just, I had to start learning really fast. But I let her tried to put her in every cage they had at the bird store. You know, I don't go to bird stores anymore, but I tried to put her in every one. She wouldn't go into any cage except that one. And then the night I brought it home and put it together, she got on top of it, and she made a sound that was like tubular bells, and that was back when, you know, cameras on phones were terrible and that kind of thing. So, but it really did sound like tubular bells, and she just strutted around on that cage. It was really hers, you know. So now her beloved Cecil is in there, because it's the only prison that'll hold him. Yeah, Peaches likes that corner cage. I am not sure why, but she does. Corner cages are not usually the best, but for her, she likes it. She doesn't have a lot of mobility, you know. She's my little turtle, aren't you? She's my little turtle bird. Yeah, I'm debating whether to go down and get the last of the stuff. The only thing I have left at that old place is I've got like 6 big bags of clothes that the junk people missed. But, you know, and they're all bagged up, so it's not like they couldn't toss them in outside with the trash. So I really don't want to go back there. And it's dangerous to pull out of there. I lived there for 12 years, and it's a double blind curve. Every time you pull out of that place, you've got to gun the engine, you know. Be my luck, right, to get down there, to go there for the last time, pull out and get hit. A lot of accidents happen right there, and the Fallbrook won't do anything about it. They won't put up signs saying blind curve or anything. And now that people use it as a bypass for the freeway, I mean, they come speeding through there, so I really don't want to do it. It's like, you know, you think that, yeah, one last time will be the time you get hit. So I did get hit, but not there. About just as you go into Fallbrook, I had an off-duty police officer hit me. He was probably doing 60 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, but, you know, he got away with it. But it didn't do anything to my insurance. The insurance company didn't touch my insurance or anything, so. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go back. When I take the computer in tomorrow to get a new hard drive in it, another expense, right? But I got to have it. So, there you go, Goth42. Yeah. I'll just take the keys and go to a UPS. You know, I'll be in a different town, so I'll take the keys and have UPS deliver them to her. Yeah, it isn't stuff I want. There isn't anything back there that I want. I got everything. Well, I got everything I really want right here. But there's nothing else there that I need, that's for sure. So, right, Peaches? Right, Peaches? Oh, that was another thing that the landlord did. Yeah, just about a month before this thing happened, I'm not even sure this was legal, but she set it up so I had to pay the water bill. And of course, that means I was paying to water her lawn as well. So when I left the water on so I could do, there you go, Goth42, I like that idea. So I left it on because I was going to be using the water to do a little cleaning, right? And then I get a bill from them, and she has jacked up the water bill. She's obviously using our water, right? So I called up and said immediately disconnected the water, which means she's just paying for it, right? I was being the nice guy by paying for the water if I was going to use it, even though it meant paying for watering her stupid lawn. I don't see why in an area that's that dry, why you would have a lawn anyway, but so we don't have a lawn here because it's a desert, so it would be stupid to be watering a lawn, but anyway. I couldn't believe it. I get this e-bill and where it's jacked up by $40 more than it was, 2 weeks before, and I knew what it meant. It meant that she was just watering the heck out of things, so I just turned it off. Not a comment from her. I refused to talk to her, so she's allowed to text me, email me, or send me a letter. I am not talking face-to-face with that woman. So I want a record of any communication. But last thing I really expected was to have somebody try to blame me for a situation like that. They could blame Roman. You could say Roman did it. Romeo, did you do it? Did you do it, Romeo? Oh, they are sweet birds. You wouldn't want to visit Pippa, though. Pippa would probably take your face off. She's got a thing about women, and I'm going to fix it, but it's going to take a little while. Yeah, she might get one. It depends if she doesn't give enough of the rent deposit. I was forced to give $200 for every bird we had, multiply that times 12, and then 1 month's rent on top of it. So when you add all that together, it's quite a bit of money sitting there, and she's probably going to not give any of it back, so I'm probably going to have to take her to court. But the most important thing is they're safe. That's what matters. You know, about a week before this whole thing happened, I noticed that Lucy was sneezing, and then I noticed that Cecil started digging at his nares a little bit, and might just have to do that, Michelle. But I noticed that all the birds were, and then I noticed I was having trouble breathing. And then I walked outside, and I smelled the smell coming around the building. I'm like, oh no! And then I went to the spot where you can look under the house, because it's not on a slab. It's in an open foundation, and yeah, the birds did. They noticed it before I did, and 2 days later we were out of that place. Well, they were anyway. I was still lugging things out of there. I rented a 15-foot stake bed. I haven't drove one of those in a while, and loaded that thing up twice with stuff for the storage and stuff to come here. Right, Peach? Peach just goes, I don't know. I was in this place while you were doing all of that. Yeah, that 15-footer was $200 a day, and had to rent it on a holiday weekend. So rented it Friday and had to return on Tuesday. That was expensive. Nice truck though, almost brand new. It only had 6,000 miles on it. I drove truck for a while, not the big, big long haulers or anything like that. I drove 21-foot stake bed, so I knew that was the best thing for those cages, was a stake bed. Yeah, I can mention it to my doctor at the VA. Can't afford medical for myself, so I've got the Veterans Administration taking care of me. They've been okay. Peach's girl. So I hope you guys that saw the video liked it. It was kind of fun. The only problem with the video is I use LumaFusion on my phone, and then stocks, so I can add music, and I can add things like this, the video of the haunted house and that kind of thing. I can add all that, but every time I do it, I have to keep going to YouTube and proving that I have the right to use it. It's a pain, but I love that, so I will keep using it. The thing I can't do without the computer, which is why I need it back, I can't do a multi-stream. If I want to do like 3 or 4 videos at the same time and then cut them into one, I can't do that on my phone. But I can do a lot, but I can't do that. So I'd like to have that thing back. Plus, it's also better to pay the bills on there than trying to use my phone to pay bills. And we have a lot, don't we, Gary? Don't we? Toys and food and all kinds of stuff for the birds. Yeah, once we get settled in a little bit more, I'm going to be working more on things for the membership too. So just got all this membership started, and then we had to bolt out of that place before somebody, had a lung collapse or something. Oh, thanks, Aaron. I know, Peach, but I have to clean you up. I'm sorry. You gotta clean up a Peach. Well, folks, my helpers are. It's getting late where they are, so we have to go. And what's the matter, Cause? What are you doing? You just need to have somebody to say hi, Cause, huh? Love you, Cause. You're a good girl. You too, Lorelei, back there. I see you. We'll see you again on Wednesday. And thank you all for coming. And any support you can give us, much appreciated. So, and thanks everybody who donated today. So, and we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.